You're taking a stroll along the beach. And it's a sunny day. It's a beautiful day. And you come across a sea of starfishes. Unfortunately, these starfishes are rather stranded on the beach that day. And you recall a lesson from your biology class, which taught you that if these starfishes are left stranded on the beach on that sunny day, they will eventually die in no time. So the question is that I have for all of you here today, what will you do with those starfishes? Perhaps, my dear friends, I'd like to invite you to imagine first having such a starfish in your hands. Can I invite all of you to just raise up both of your hands like this? You can join me, please. And let's do a triangle, like a star. Just to start a triangle right here. And just show it to your friend, seated to your left and to your right, like a starfish right there. Okay? Right. The many starfishes. That's the whole starfishes right here. Okay? Very nice. Now, my dear friends, with this very starfish, what will you do? There are hundreds, maybe thousands, that have been stranded on the beach that very day. What will you do? Perhaps the actions you're going to take next will define who do you want to be. Who would you want to be? Of course, being a kind-hearted person, if I were in your shoes, I would bend down, grab one of the starfish, and I would start throwing it back into the sea. And as you start doing that, akin to my actions right here, you start collecting one by one, you start throwing back to the sea. You would no doubt attract attention. And then what happens? An old lady walks by and say, "Young child, stop wasting your time. There are hundreds and maybe thousands of starfishes. You will not be able to make a difference or to save all of them." But what did you do? You continued on anyway. You started picking up a starfish, throwing back into the sea, and you uttered these words. "Well, perhaps I may not be able to save all the starfishes lined up, stranded by the beach here, but at least I would have made a difference to that every one starfish. I would have saved the life of that every one starfish that I've managed to throw back into the sea." You may have heard of this story, making a difference to the lives of people. As much as we have ambitions to make a grandiose impact, to impact the country, to impact the world, but it all begins with us having the willingness to impact one life at a time. My dear friends gathered here today, that is what we call impact. But here begs the question, is that still the algorithm of what defines impact today? Or is this the algorithm right now? Before I return the starfish back to the sea, let's take a selfie of me with the starfish. Now here begs the question, is this the new algorithm of impact? In a sense, you need to announce to the entire world before you even start impacting lives. Are you impacting lives? Are you creating impact just to go viral, just for content's sake? And what if in your efforts in creating that impact, you have actually endangered lives, endangered our environment, just like the starfish? Let's take a selfie, but that mere moments of you taking a selfie could have killed that starfish because because the starfish has been out of the water for a while. My dear friends, when we talk about evolution of humanity, we cannot run away from STEM: science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And no doubt STEM has helped us progress as a civilization through the phones, through the technological devices that we use. But because of these very advancements as well, it presents us with the question again: who do we want to be when we have access to all these technologies? Do we want to be someone who goes viral? Or do we want to be someone who becomes valuable to society? At the end of the day, the choice is yours. Would you rather go viral for the sake of viral, or would you rather do something valuable, real impact to society? You would have seen many KOLs, or maybe heard of them. Who are KOLs? Key opinion leaders. They appear, they do some very cute, very creative dancing videos. Some even consider content like that no-brainers, but they tend to get the attention and they become famous. And being famous is cool, especially in our efforts to want to make grandiose, grand impact. However, here's the reality. Despite their success, it's only prevalent at that moment. The fame that they enjoy eventually will fade. And that begs the question, what impact have they really done after their fame has faded? My dear friends, a little sharing of my story. When I was at your seats, in your shoes, I wanted attention. Perhaps some may even say I wanted fame as well. But at that time, I can tell you, I was not trending. I was not famous. I wanted to be famous. So I went out. I tried my best to get attention. I tried my best to fit into groups that I would have never been a good fit anyway. But I wanted attention. I wanted to feel belonged. But the attention I got was not the attention I wanted. I got bullied instead in school. It took me a good close to 10 years throughout my schooling life, from primary all the way up to the secondary school, for me to realize that this attention that I was getting was not an attention I wanted, that I became a victim in my effort to get the attention. And it took me a courageous effort to take a step and say, enough of the attention, let's be authentic. Enough of the attention, let me find a community, let me do something that I can belong to. And that is when I realized, the moment I cut ties with all those supposedly friends whom their language of love to me is to bully me, is that's the way how they gave me attention, was for me to cut ties with them and to focus on a community, focus on doing things that were truly authentic to me. Making real impact. It's not about the fame. It's about finding a community that appreciates me. It's about finding a community that I can fit in. It's finding a community that I can contribute my impact to. And this is how my story started. In the year 2000s, with a face looking like this, as you can see, I was bullied in school, and then close to a decade later, I decided to change my life, get involved in volunteer activities, because that was who I am. No doubt volunteering at that time in my high school was not something sexy, was not something trending, but that was where I felt I belonged. I started being involved with public speaking because I felt I loved the attention so much. Why not invest time and effort to do something that I can contribute? And that is speaking, as all of you could see today. And this decision that I made to go for real impact really helped me change my life. And when we are courageous enough to fit in, when we are courageous enough to see and to acknowledge what skills do we have to make real impact, amplified with technology platforms later, using LinkedIn to promote what I was doing, using my Instagram as my daily diary, as my journal, to share with people what are my key learnings, what are the things I've done. Using all these tools, me fitting in, finally contributing, making real impact. Right now, in the year 2025, I've built a business that spans across 42 countries. I speak to CEOs, I speak to leaders, I speak to young leaders like all of you present today, and I'm enjoying every bit of it. So ladies and gentlemen, my dear friends, my question to all of you is this: who do you want to be? You see, I was not famous when I decided to take a courageous step, to find a community that I could fit in, to find a community that I could make real impact. I was not famous, ladies and gentlemen, but I want to believe I was kind. And because I was kind, I was always thinking about giving real impact. Those impact that I've created echoes throughout time. My dear friends, when we talk about the evolution of technology, of course, we need to talk about STEM, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. But what if I were to share this with you? Why not we use STEM plus service as a way for us to build sustainable success, real impact, as they say. Lastly, allow me to show you a chart. You will notice from this chart there is impact and there is also time. You will notice that the red line is highlighted representing the fame that you would get by being a content creator, a viral content creator. Nothing wrong with that, but that's the reality. That's the fame you get. That's the spike, the euphoric feeling you enjoy when your content goes viral. But what if what defines you is what you do? You focus on the green line instead, kindness. Using kindness as your first way to create impact. Using kindness, asking yourself, how can you make a difference to that one life? And the difference that you have made in one life, the impact you have created echoes throughout the ages. And perhaps in our day today, that kindness that you have contributed, that impact you have made, from kindness, even though it was never your intention to go viral or to be kind for the sake of creating content, but perhaps this one kindness that you have shown, this very person, this very community, this very state, this very country, this very world will thank you for it. And the way they thank you, that is how you go viral. My dear friends, to me, that is the algorithm of impact. That is how you create real impact, with what people say about you, with how people acknowledge, with how people recognize you for the good work that you have done. Let us all understand this real algorithm of impact moving forward. Don't chase fame. Use kindness, and let kindness bring you to that fame. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.